Okay, well, Gary needs really no introduction.
Well, there's actually a lot of questions about Gary.
There's only actually, because we posted yesterday.
There's hardly any questions.
There were actually no questions, but the questions that did come up that we get asked the most are his name, which
we're not going to talk about anyway. So we're
wow,
not. Well, and I think
just like that.
I speak to women who watch you guys on social media. No, like from coworkers or things like that. I feel like they see a lot of our lives. Like, I think that's why there's not many questions. It's like, oh, that's who that guy is who's with the kids or having dinner.
You know what? To defend the fact that there hasn't been a lot of questions both times, people ask just generally about you. So maybe it's not like in that time there was like a specific, what would I ask Gary if he was on a podcast? But there's curiosity around.
Oh, people love Gary
as a person. Well, just because also it's like, you're quite dynamic.
Well, I also don't think I'm necessarily like
and
on brand for your audience. Like, I don't think your audience really cares about like what I like.
Oh God, Gary, I disagree. People are fast. No, I think people
Honestly,
are.
maybe you could talk to them about your video games then.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Video games and sports and
well, we're going
marketing.
off. I think we're going off. I actually don't think they'd be interested in the video games and sports.
Yeah,
but
my normal interest.
So let's just put this to bed. You will not say why people call you Gary. Your real name is Mark, but you will not say why we call you Gary.
If you guys make it to podcast episode 69, then I'll talk about it then.
Oh my God, honestly, Gary.
Okay, well, you heard it here, guys. Episode 69. Tune in.
Bring me back in, and I'll talk about it.
And you will reveal your.
Well, and I would probably have to bring like a special guest on to really do it justice. Because the truth is, the story's not that funny in a silo just talking about it.
Kind of my story too.
It's not at all your story. It started before I met you in college. So I would have to bring one or two special guests to really give it like the air it needs anyway.
Okay. Well, we'll revisit it.
LA, maybe Miami.
Miami for sure. Oh yeah, maybe for both.
Wow. Okay.
People move around. I forgot.
This is an international
60 plus episodes and the name will be
69
revealed.
to be specific.
Well, we've already recorded 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
62. Yeah. Math.
Okay.
Basic math. We must record 60 something episodes.
Okay, well, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we were actually just talking.
My ear hurts.
I think this is an interesting subject because we were talking. We have one troll. We don't have a lot of trolls, which is fine, but we have one troll who is really triggered by what we call our in-laws, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws. And anytime we say either me and Gary are brother and sister-in-laws or me and Jenna are sister-in-laws, she gets very triggered and writes a very long blurb about why we are not in-laws.
Well, I think like it comes up mostly with the Sil. You guys say Sil a lot, like sister-in-law for Concy or Jenna. And like to explain the troll a bit more, you have a very consistent troll. Like you have someone who really follows the brand on Instagram and YouTube and is always commenting.
This is the only thing she comments about.
Well, and that's where you saw it. You were like, I saw the trolls comment because you were watching our YouTube podcast from the other week and you were like, the troll made a comment on your YouTube.
I'm like, how did you even know that?
Yeah.
Well, because it's in-laws this, in-laws that. That's all.
And that is the
that's
comment.
all they talk about.
It's on brand. It's
and
very
it had
on brand.
nothing to do with what we talked about in the podcast. It was just another platform for her to blast us about calling each other sills. Like, this is the epitome of people that have no time on their hands. And then they're following on her account to say that's actually a technicality.
It's not. Yeah, Jenna, I get it. Jenna is technically not my sister-in-law, but what am I going to say? Here I am with my brother-in-law's wife.
Yeah.
With my friend. Like,
yeah. So technically, just for the record, so your brothers
is
are
my
my
sister.
brother-in-law.
She is your son. So
but
no, there's
like
no issue with you.
Lauren
It's an issue with me. It's
always when you're speaking about
it's always me.
Yeah. Is
No,
it?
but it is.
She's directed towards you?
It's always about usually Jenna, Concy, you. Like, technically.
What do you think her issue is? Like, what's her beef here with it? Like, why is this so triggering for her?
Well, just technically, it maybe is not correct.
Technically,
maybe
it's
she
wrong.
wants a cell.
Maybe she wants a cell.
Yeah, do you think they have a...
Maybe she doesn't have a cell. You know what? This is like,
Well, You're right. You're going to have a little more compassion.
Let's
You're
kill
gonna
a
have a
little
little
kindness. You know
kindness.
what? If you're just confused by it, that's okay.
Are you offering up a rent-a-cell to this person?
No, but
or
I just,
a rent-a
it's
bill?
more just like chill, take meds, and get off our case.
Leave us alone.
Leave us
also,
alone.
I feel like we kind of feel like we've
It's
not
kind
made
of
it with a troll,
it's kind
but
of interesting that like
I wish there
someone
was more. You're like,
talks
we
about
have
the-
one troll. I'm like, there should be at least.
we have a really
I
nice
want
community.
at least 4 people coming for me.
Do you?
Well, a little bit.
You're
feel
not even on Instagram. I'm the one who checks the account. I got to deal with these trolls.
Okay,
but then we would
if
see.
you gave
You'd
me
tell
some
us.
juice to deal with, I'd respond.
I know. You actually do like a bit of confrontation.
Well, it's not. I can handle it well,
Yeah, you can. You can
If
put people in their place very well.
or I can. Yeah. Yeah.
I think you can. That is a good skill.
Do you like my new piercing?
Oh, I didn't even note. Is it real?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of things
I
that
got
are
a fake piercing on the weekend.
maybe.
Okay. Yeah, it's real. And I got
Oh.
it on Bleecker Street when I
No,
was
do you
in
know
New
why it
York.
also doesn't look real?
Because
Because
it's
there's
a hoop?
because there's no swelling or redness or anything.
Well,
Because
it was a week ago.
because I'm healing with the hoop.
Unlike the last time when we got a cartilage pierce and literally there
It
was
was-
pus coming out of our ears for 6 months.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
really
gross.
good.
Yeah. Gary,
no,
would you ever get a piercing?
He has one.
My,
do?
my dad had
didn't
had
know?
both his ears
Nice
pierced,
try, Annie.
and I thought that was weird.
Your dad had both of his ears.
Well, no, he had
And
one
no,
at
and
one
he
at a
wore
time.
double hoops and loved jewelry too.
Yeah, so like it's not
Oh.
really for me.
You actually
Right.
have one sick piece of like a coin that your dad.
Yeah, but that's a necklace, and even that's not.
He was
super
a
for
man
me.
of jewelry, is the point.
He was a
And it
man
didn't-
of yeah.
and it didn't pass down to you. Mark
like
doesn't
John
even wear
John
wedding ring
Hardy
ever.
John Hardy style jewelry.
No, he used to have like studs. I feel like.
They
Or
were
was it a
dime.
hoop? He
No,
had a hoop? I
he
don't
no,
even
he
remember.
had no. I do know. Your dad also had a mullet. It was like these cold little
Mm-hmm.
hoops that he wore, like similar size to mine actually.
So he didn't influence
And then he
you.
wore two bracelets that
Well,
were.
probably the opposite. Like I don't know. Me and my dad didn't like really weren't on the same wavelength. So if
Right.
he was wearing,
He was not an
earrings,
influence. You
I
were
was-
not wearing
I
earrings.
was not wearing earrings.
You know who you should give his bracelets to? John Levy, because John is
Yeah,
now
actually-
into jewelry.
Yeah.
Lanny's dad.
Yep.
Well, he was wearing like
We went
four
into
bracelets
Chrome
at dinner.
Hearts in Vegas, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this is.
It's his new look.
Yeah, we should
And then
go-
he lost one, and it was problematic because he does this shake with his hand now, and it wasn't the same.
Oh, okay.
He needed them anyways, but I think it actually suits him.
It does suit him.
But
well,
Mark-
he's a very
Well, it was funny,
Yeah.
but your
He's Metro.
he is yeah.
Well,
Well,
I don't
he
know.
likes
Is that
very skinny. Is that still a word?
I don't know.
yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure.
Well, he just likes very skinny jeans. Like he dresses in a very I don't know.
You know what look I really like though for men right now is a wide leg. It's just not a wide leg, a straight leg. It's just hard to pull off.
So well,
Like in New York, every man with a really good style was wearing like straight legs.
can Lanny? I feel like Lanny has really evolved your style, Gary.
Yeah,
She has.
well,
I remember those gator sweatpants you used to wear every day. Lanny would like throw them out. She would like literally throw them in a garbage 10 blocks away. And then they'd like be folded on your bed. Like
It was
the next
literally
day, they
I-
like find their
I was
way
like, I thought I
home.
burned
Well,
that.
I don't think I had a pair of sweatpants that were memorable. It was more so my whole wardrobe. Well, I don't think so. Like
He's
sweatpants.
very detailed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but all your
well, no, I think
shirts,
it's
your
like
thousands
if you
of
look at my
shirts.
closet's lots of like I have video game T-shirts, I have sports T-shirts, and then I have like plain white or stuff that like Lanny's.
He
bought.
literally goes to the cupboard to get dressed and grabs what's at the top of any pile. It does not even matter. Like I'm sure if he was
that's
picking
like a child.
literally
Yeah.
clean is the only like imagine getting dressed and that was the only thought process. You didn't have to do your hair really. I mean he does because he knows I like it, but he wouldn't. So like imagine having to do like Brian, what do you do in the morning?
I don't wear like any.
He doesn't wear clothes.
or any big clothes.
Okay,
Well, that's what I
but-
feel like I do these days. I grab a white shirt. I'll grab honestly if I'm taking the kids to school, I'll grab sweatpants like versus
Yeah, you're
jeans.
comfy. You're
But do you dress for Lanny? Like, do you pick clothes knowing like, okay, I know Lanny's going to
Well,
like
so
that?
we went to a nice dinner last week, and Lanny got me a new pair of like winter boots that are like really high, that are good for like if it was raining or really snowing.
they're the thick Ugg
but they were
winter boots that are for like
Oh, Gary wore them to the
negative-
no,
restaurant?
but they were new,
go up to your
and I wanted to
knees.
see if they fit. And she just got them, so I was like, "Oh, this will be nice."
he
I'll,
comes in Uggs up to his knees and we're going. He like was
They're
trying
not
to.
that tall. They're pretty big.
If they were with the
I'm
fur
picturing
up,
like Viking boots.
that's basically what they
Yeah.
were. And he's like,
But I
"What?
also
You
feel like
bought
that
them
could
for
be
me?" I'm like,
I don't
"That's
know.
actually how simple it is. Like, it just when it's just not no offense. It's just like
Yeah,
he
none
doesn't
taken.
care. He
but
like
knowing that she cares, like I feel like you're more turned on when he dresses better.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah,
also
but
thought
he-
I was being nice because like she bought them for me,
Like
and
that- it's that-
it
yeah,
also
you missed
was
the
the
mark.
first day of winter. It was very cold.
Really? I feel like it's been 20 degrees here for the last month.
Well, no, but
Anywho.
but then it was nice. Like last week, it was like sunny during the day,
Right.
t-shirt.
Anyways,
weather.
I feel like he tried a little.
Yeah.
He did try.
Gary does. You know what turns me on.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you
true.
do.
That's
I
true.
I like scents. Everyone knows that. I'm a gal of hygiene and of good
Oh,
smells.
for a second I thought you meant sense, like common sense. You mean sense.
Yeah, I got common
Smells.
sense too.
Scent.
He also has common sense.
Scent.
Well, you want to know what's funny about that? So we were all when we were in Vegas. Yeah, Lanny, like I would never wear cologne if Lanny didn't like it, like natural pheromones,
True.
that kind of thing.
True.
And then there was one, I think I hit myself maybe like 3 times instead of 2 when we were in Vegas, like before we were going somewhere, and your dad went crazy. He's like, you smell like, what is all this cologne?
Like
your dad. Yeah, like in a good way.
Your dad like really picked up on it. He's like, oh my God, why are you wearing so much cologne? It's so funny.
It's because
See,
it
it's
turns your daughter
on.
on.
It's also the new dad.
Yeah, sorry, John.
Like father, like daughter.
Yeah, literally. I do.
Wow.
Well, I think that scent shit, maybe it's genetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have good noses.
Well, we're also just anyhow.
You two are very similar.
Well, we're a clean family.
You know what else? The other question we got asked, the one other question we got asked was, do you take any issue with us sharing so much about your grooming and butthole and all that stuff? Someone asked that.
Yeah. Well,
Butthole and
no, the answer is no. So at that same dinner, there was our waiter was from Brazil, right?
Oh my God, I totally forgot about
That was a very funny story.
Our waiter was from Brazil, and it turns out, so we ate this place, Don Alfonso's downtown.
Yeah.
And
it was excellente.
Toronto just got all these Michelin star restaurants. Like the Michelin star people came to Toronto and they're rating restaurants for the first time. So like I think 12 restaurants ish got it. So I tried to make reservations at like all of them because there's not that many.
That's so nice, Gary.
Yeah. And then the Don Alfonso's is one of the ones I got. I only got 2.
And you were like, ew, Don Alfonso, gross. I got food poisoning from there. I literally would never go there. And I'm like, fuck, Gary, what
Lauren
shit
said
he
that.
made. Yeah, but then we went and you're like, oh, that's not Don Alfonso.
Yeah, I think it was a different
I
restaurant.
was like, Mark, you must cancel the reservation.
that
like,
we
no.
did get very sick. Anyways, keep going, Gary, because this is a very funny story.
So we're seeing there, and it's like all of these Michelin places are like very fancy 7-course meals. It's not like a normal restaurant that normal people go to. It's just like takes a long time. There's little food.
And did you wear the Viking boots?
No, so this is where I wore my big boots.
I'm like, tuck them into your jeans, tuck them, hide them. They're so chunky. I'm like,
Anyway.
oh.
And the waiter is this nice guy. He used to be. What did he used to be in Brazil?
He was a student.
No. Oh yeah, he was an engineering student
Yeah.
in Brazil. Thanks.
Yeah.
And then, but he moved here just like and he was like worked at this restaurant now for a year. This is the only thing he's done. What did he do back in Brazil? Also, what is he opening up here? Like a
manscaping place.
grooming-
Because it's very common
because in
amongst
Brazil, they
yeah.
don't give a shit. They're like waxing and
Take that
pulling
hair
and
off.
No,
let me
and
see,
male-
move your balls this way and like let
male
me get in
grooming
there.
is a very common practice installed by your parents.
Installed.
Scary,
Anyways,
Anyways,
Gary
he
is not upset about that. Like
but
that's not
what's-
No, but
blowing
the
up
point
your
of the story
spot.
was this server offered, as he's serving you your Michelin star food, to manscape your asshole.
well, he then shows his Instagram and he's like,
This is my talent.
he's got a great body and he's like, hair. So that's what he does.
But
is
did you
he
hit him up?
literally
I'm like,
he
wow.
manscapes
Sorry, guys,
people.
I actually forgot to tell you, he did hit us up on Instagram.
No, he didn't.
I swear
Yeah,
to
for
God.
sure.
Oh
Well,
my
you
God.
probably
He was
If
like-
I could
he was the
pay
nicest guy.
someone to do this, would
Well,
be
you
excellent.
can. Well, you can. This is your man. He's like, it was so nice meeting you.
Yeah, he was a sweetheart.
And
Guys,
I
Ryan,
would
you guys could get a
basically,
2-for-1.
I would love
No.
to remove the hair from your body.
Well, what I find
I
really
need to read that Instagram message.
well,
that was basically all it was. It was
have
like
you guys
so
ever
nice.
seen YouTube videos for like Manscaped? Like Pete Davidson does it now. It used to be someone else famous before that. Ryan, you've seen them, I'm sure.
Yeah, my
Yeah. So like they have
Oh.
they must
Shit.
spend $20 million a year on YouTube easy.
Oh,
They're
God,
always
should we
there.
get them to sponsor this episode?
Well, no, but what's interesting is like
There's
that's
literally
still
one
a
follower.
take home yourself and like shave your own balls product. Like
Right.
guys don't know how to do that. Like what do they have YouTube videos for it? So it's one of those things that for whatever reason is still like it's almost
It's still
like
taboo. It's
Yeah,
taboo.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like with women's infertility, like just people don't know about it and don't talk about it. It's like weird. Like
Manscaping is equivalent to women's infertility.
no, the reason
No,
the
like,
reason
you
I
know
mentioned
what's
that
like
is
that?
like men don't know about infertility or like
Right.
miscarriages or things like that. It's like
Right.
just no one talks
No one
about
talks
it.
about it.
Yes,
It's
so,
not like similar, but you know what? Maybe a little bit of a better comparison is like condoms, which like, because I just, no, listen to this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Listen to this. Okay. I was just at this female founder event that my friend Jackie put on, which was so cool. It was a bunch of women that came together, talked about their businesses, shoot the shit. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs deal with similar issues, successes with their startups. And it was just like she came from New York and I was just like so proud of her. She put on this, like, there was probably, I don't know, 30 of us at the Ace Hotel. And like, I met so many cool women from all these different businesses. And there was a brand that we know, Laura and I, we had worked with or talked to them before. And their offshoot of their brand is a condom line. It's called Gems. And marketing for condoms is like all so masculine. It's so scary. It's in this creepy aisle. There's no conversation between like just parents and children about it because it's like this taboo off the market, like for sexy older creepy men. So they made a condom that was like cute and fun and marketed like very well that you can like get in packs, buy on well.ca.
Isn't it well, like there's something with how it's made too? Because
it's all organic. It's like very good for the woman's vag, which we like to talk about clearly, but it's like not like your typical stuff. Like they put a lot of research and market research into it. And I feel like it's
changing the game with how people view condoms and talk about condoms.
Dialogue. It's another taboo thing. I mean, that's more, I think, like man sculpting-ish. It's just like things that need to get done and like are part of society that no one's really
It's like rebranding how things are being talked about, which is great.
When your kids start to have sex.
They already start talking about it.
Yeah, like you are really blunt and great about like the conversations you have. And now you can just be like, girls, when the time is here, here's a cute little condom. You know?
Well, the reason I mentioned that is like maybe you guys had different schooling than us. Like we had condoms.
Sorry, I'm just picturing me having that conversation.
We had cute little condoms.
We had condoms in school, like really young. They showed us how to put them on. They talked all about it.
On bananas.
Like condom education in Roslyn High School or wherever was very good. Like there were condoms in bowls.
Are you
for
supposed
people.
to put a condom on when you like give head now as like if you're like out?
I could not answer that.
Is that a thing now?
The first time I ever got
Gary
the first time I ever got one. The first time I ever got one was with a condom.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was not upset about it. Like you know what I mean? Like
where was it? Gary, tell us about your first BJ. This is actually so fascinating, and I don't know this.
How old were you, Gary?
It's a good question. Probably 15 or 16. Like
where was it?
It was like upstate New York or somewhere like outside of New York, but like more north.
It's a very that's a very
but like
wide,
it was like car
general
I forget
area.
like which town it was.
You're like it was in the U.S. of A.
No. So I was with my
Gary
family.
likes storytelling.
My family and I used to go on Disney trips before school.
This is a weird opener to the story, but
well,
okay.
That's you asked who the girl where it happened, and so one time before school, I was getting older with my cousin. We were in like a hot.
You were getting older.
My cousin's a year older than me. He's a dude.
This,
Oh, thank God! I thought this was like going weird incestuous.
Why? Our kids are cousins and they go in hot tubs all
the
the time.
point of the story is we're talking about your first blowjob.
Okay, it wasn't my cousin Paul.
Sorry, you got to just like land the plane here because it was getting confusing at one point.
No, so we were in a hot tub at some Disney property.
Still you and your male cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, we're like 15 and 16. It's like
Paul.
Yeah. Well, you swim, you play video games, you go on parks. I don't know, at night. Like, what the hell do you do?
You manscape each other.
Yeah. No, I don't think I had hair at that point. Like, anyway, so we randomly either the girls were there.
You must have had hair if you were getting a blowjob. You had no hair on you had no pubes.
Maybe you had one pube.
You don't have as
pube.
much like butt hair, I think, at that age. Well, that's what we're talking about. So anyway, I met some girl in a hot tub in Disneyland at some hotel or wherever. We exchanged information, number. This was like phone numbers.
Okay.
And then I called her or
that
whatever.
Night?
No, back when we came back to New York.
Was she same age? Was she an older woman?
She might have been a year or two older than me, but like we were.
That's a big deal when you're 15, 16.
Oh, I love a good phone call. Okay, wait, keep on going, Gary. So you called her and what did you say? Hey,
no,
babe.
nothing. We just talked about like meeting, like because nothing really happened that night. I was like with my cousin.
Were you always like because
vacation.
just sorry to sidetrack for 1 second because you're a very confident man. Like were you just like I feel like for most 15, 16-year-olds to just like call up a girl and be like, hey, was that like no big deal for you?
I feel like it was like exciting. You know what I mean? Like it was like. I don't know.
I loved when guys used to call me, or like it was like if they were calling versus ICQing you or MSN.
ICQ.
Oh.
Yeah.
If they were doing that, like
no,
that
that's
was
a big. That's what I'm saying. It's a big deal to pick up the phone and call a girl.
Yeah. So
anyways, good for you, Gary.
Me and a
was
friend.
it a good blowjob? Okay, you have to hurry up.
Well, it was his first.
I think we took a cab or something. Like we like took a trip up there.
You brought your friend to get the blowjob.
Yeah, with her and her other friend.
Oh, she.
Did they tag team?
No. I'm not sure if they hooked up, but like we went to this other room in like her unfinished basement. And she like
her unfinished.
Well, and, like, to circle back to condoms, like I didn't bring the condom.
You didn't know.
No,
okay, so she went to do it.
Did you go in thinking you were gonna have sex?
No, I didn't know. I don't remember. I don't recall.
You had no clue.
I don't recall.
You're just like
Well, listen, I think like. You know, there was something there, so I didn't go there so that we. I didn't go there so that we could like crochet or anything like that.
Right.
You know, what
you
I
knew
mean?
something was happening.
Hoping, but like,
how long did it take?
But that's
I was
why
still a virgin at that point.
Right. So not
important facts.
But not knowing what you're getting into, to not bring a condom, knowing you may have sex, that's just interesting as a 15-year-old boy. Like, I feel like maybe
maybe
having a Gems condom.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it could be.
Yeah, Yeah, where'd
Yeah.
you guys lose your virginity? You were well, I know about yours.
Okay,
No, I was, but my virginity story was interesting too. I was in like Brussels or Belgium or something
Oh,
on a
snap.
teen tour. It was cool.
With
like a West Coast
it was
connection kind of
it was a
trip.
random,
Well, it was someone from
Oh,
the
you were
trip.
older. Were you 17, 18 when you lost your virginity?
No, 16.
but also
Oh.
you had
So that was
you
like
lost your
whatever,
V card to
15.
you lost it to a rando.
Well, like someone from the trip.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so
no,
that's actually not
no, it
random.
wasn't like a girl you met at like the bar that night. It was someone you knew on your trip
No,
with you.
Some
But
some
was
girl
not
who
your
was from
girlfriend.
Chicago who was just on the. I mean, after that, it became like my tour girlfriend
Oh,
for a
damn.
bit.
Oh.
She
Well, like,
wanted
sorta-
the
well, like-
Gary sausage.
That's a good regular. Yeah, in Brussels,
rest-
the
Yeah.
Brussels
Was it a
sausage.
spicy sausage? I would say no,
Not
Oh.
yeah.
but it is a nice one.
All right,
fair.
guys. Well, that's
Um,
very
Thanks,
interesting,
Liz.
Gary. That's very interesting.
Okay, but back to
Back
like
to Gem's
fir-
condoms.
and also back to first. Like this is really funny because I'm thinking about the first time I gave a hand job and
Oh.
or got.
Mhm.
I don't know if I can say this, but whatever, fingered. And well, it's just funny because
I
like
feel like it
those
was. I feel like it was by you. I feel like you were the first person to finger yourself.
no, that's not even how I touch myself.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
So, anyways, but the reality is at camp, which is like where most first happen. What me and my entire girlfriends did, it was like a cabin of 8. We all picked someone in the boys' cabin. We snuck out of our cabins and we all got fingered and gave hand jobs at the exact same time on the exact same night, like a pack.
That's
What,
wild.
is that like a flash mob?
That's
What
like
is
that's
that? There was the A pack, which
That's
was like
honestly
the
a
cool
movie.
area.
You
in
could
the
write
back.
that movie
We-
so
we
well.
all
I
went
can
to
see it
each
right now
other's
with like
bed.
the
I,
different
like-
shots of the boys that they like. Honestly, that's a movie. You
and
can
I'm
write
not lying. If any of my camp girls are listening to this, they know who you are.
Wow.
I also did it with like my friend's ex-boyfriend. They weren't dating anymore, but that's who I had, and it
Can
was a
we
little
talk about your
problematic.
counselor too? What a champ she was.
Oh, well,
Did
we
she do
snuck
it
out.
too?
Ew,
No.
we snuck out.
Tell her like what she imparted some wisdom on.
Oh, she encouraged it.
No. She taught Lanny like techniques.
She taught
you
Our
techniques.
camp counselors taught us how to give head. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was like a skill set.
How
It was
old were
like,
you at that age?
oh, we're going to pottery, then it's free time, and then we're going to have dinner.
It
and
was
then
something you could
my
sign up
counselor
for.
taught me. No, but it was just like girl code. Like we paid.
God, I really
Indigo
hope. I really hope
girls.
my kids don't listen to this
And
episode.
how old were you at that point? Do you
When
think?
I was what?
I don't
This
know.
is making me sound really slutty, but this was
No.
very normal at camp.
No,
everybody.
I actually don't think it's. I think listen,
On,
this
like,
is
a
when you're
bachelorette
learning
party,
and you're
that's what,
starting
like,
to
you
do
go
things. This
do
is like
that
when
This is why camp is so important.
you learn independence.
No, but truthfully, like, oh yeah, you want to learn that from your mom or your dad. You learn it from your girlfriends.
no,
or you learn it
I
from
agree.
Like
I-
my counselor, like in retrospect, as a counselor, like those kids aren't that old that are like teaching, like you know what I mean? Like you're 16 teaching a.
Yeah,
No,
that's
you're
what I'm
gonna
saying.
learn
You're
it
like
anyways,
13,
and I
14.
feel like
13,
camp is
is that the age
That's what I'm saying. I
difference?
feel like
No,
it's
that's
young.
not the age difference. That's
it is the age difference.
It's
Well,
a
I think
4-year age difference.
Well, your kids are at camp.
I
Like
think they're also
the
doing
oldest kids at
things
camp are like
younger.
15.
Oh, at camp there used to be like bracelets about how far you've gone. It's
Yeah.
like green is
Oh,
Wasn't there
this.
the lipstick thing at bar and bat mitzvahs?
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of
Things
weird
have really
things have
evolved.
Sorry,
evolved.
what's that one?
The reason why everyone should be using, they would think that Gem's condom is literally a sponsor for this ad. It is not.
Yeah.
What's the lipstick thing?
Well, isn't it like the girls put on lipstick and then the
They-
guys compare?
Like how far they could go.
something
Okay, I
like-
have
yeah,
heard that. I
I-
feel like
Gary,
that's
I
like an
feel
old
like,
wives'
ugh.
tale though.
God,
That's
I'm-
like a scary story.
That's a scary
Was that
story.
real? That really happens?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That.
jeez.
Yeah.
Well, what? They had to be wearing lipstick and then they compared the distance.
Or-
Yeah, see, like I wasn't that cool in college, in high school, where like it was like, oh, I was the guy that got 3 shades of lipstick. Like that's crazy. You know, like
I got Revlon at the 9-inch.
Well, no, could you
mark.
imagine that? That's wild for like a 15-year-old. Like I lost my virginity on that trip, and then I had a girlfriend for all of like senior year, and we had lots of sex. But
Oh
like
my
I wasn't
God,
like
you were really creepy with your ex-girlfriends.
Why?
Like until I came along. No, he had one ex-girlfriend.
What,
I
the
think
one-
I think we spoke about this, but this never got aired. About
Okay,
the one who
so-
like would sit on his
Yeah.
lap.
So Gary worked in like a tech startup, and he.
I actually found a picture of you sitting on my lap at work from that place.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it
No, it's
online.
you literally
I feel like you
imposed.
actually do sit on Gary's lap a lot.
No, sometimes like at a restaurant or like whatever, not at his, he was working at his desk. Creepy working at his desk, probably in that gator shirt that you mentioned. Okay,
One of
typing.
many, yeah.
Gator flared
And this
sweatpants.
girl is
National
just not
champions.
doing anything, sitting on his lap, watching him work. And then I started dating him. He's like, want to come up to the office? I'm like, hell no. I am.
Because you know how much time I spend in the fucking
terrified.
office when you're working. Like I
It
worked
was
with a company for like
intimacy.
15
It was
years.
a moment of intimacy.
Oh,
Lauren?
busy. Got lots to do.
That's creepy.
Hey, but he was probably young. It was like exciting and fun. Like obviously
That's
now in
what's
like your
happening in the
40s,
tech world
you're
in
not.
New York. Like,
Did well, would you ever go see Benji at the office?
Um, Well, I'm
I
trying to
also feel
think
like it's
before
different. Like,
Zoom.
we-
Like now it's like I'm trying to even remember a
Well,
time
we
when
were
they
also in
would go
Manhattan, where like you're like walking around each other. Like Toronto's more spread out. Like if you're gonna go,
you're
to
literally on top of each other. Were you on one of those balls?
no, that was one of our. We Schmal used to sit on the ball.
course he did.
That would have been hard
Before.
to double up on one of those.
No, but that was even before Schmal worked there. This was a long. I was 22 years old.
Yeah, at 22, that's like so fun. You call your girlfriend up, call your boyfriend up. You're like, hey, you want to
Like,
come?
what was your boss? Like that flied with like your boss was like, oh,
We had partitions. I was in my little
I
area.
think that was also at a time when like men and women could just do that. There was no line drawn. Now with HR, that would never be allowed.
Yeah, there were no rules.
There were a lot 20 years ago that was allowed that like would not fly these days. That would not be accepted.
Yeah, things are different now.
Yeah. You'd have to go into like your
not
yoga room at work to do
I'm
that.
not upset about that. I'm happy with that boundary.
Meanwhile, next week, Gary's at Annie and Ren sitting on your lap while you're working.
Well, I come see you guys at the office.
You do. Yeah. I love the days that you come in.
Mhm.
I feel like it offers like, I feel like everyone really enjoys your presence, your company.
Well, everyone's great there.
Well, and you're
Yeah,
now
we've got
kind
a
of like
good
a
team.
bit of an influencer.
I don't know about that.
Well, our Crate and Barrel client disagrees with that. They love you, Gary.
That was so
You
fun.
were
Let's do that
literally a
again.
key part of our contract.
Well, they didn't want the contract if you weren't there. They were like, I was like, oh my God, Crate and Barrel like wants to partner. I'm like, obviously it's like Ren's recipes. I'm like, kind of a big deal. They're like, we like you, but they're like, we love Gary.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, I met the woman who works at Crate Bear. She's the
Dana.
nicest. Yeah.
Well, she loves you.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's probably listening to this. And
There
we
you
should
go.
get them to sponsor this episode.
Oh my God, good call.
Yeah, the Gary episode.
Sure.
Okay.
The Gary episode. Well, what else do you have in there? What else is in that noggin of yours you want to shoot up before we peace out here? Because I feel like
Well, what you wanted to talk about that I
What
would
did I want to talk
no
about?
before you were like, oh, I'm gonna save it for the podcast, and you sort of got me a little bit nervous.
No, I was going to save it for the solo episode next because I feel like it's more of a solo chat.
Oh,
Because
no,
I think it's more fun to just talk about things
Okay.
to do with you.
I don't know.
No?
It was pretty funny. The picture. I feel like you could show.
Was it? Well,
now that we're here,
now
we
that we're
gotta
here,
get
we
in.
may as well
gotta
talk
get
about it.
into
Yeah.
So,
So what happened to you this morning?
we have a mouse infestation.
Ugh, and it's making me jumpy, even
which is
fucking sitting.
I basically have to move. Like it's gross. And
Ugh.
every time you tell people that, they're like, once you have one mouse, you've got 20. That's literally what everybody says. And it is true. We do have
But like, so
What
there
attracts
were, there were
mice to your
never
house?
mice here. Like all of a sudden, like this is
all
like
of a
6
sudden
months
we see
ago.
mouse droppings in our house. We've lived here 7 years. I've never seen any sign of anything to do with mice.
I hate wearing
On a
jeans
side
on
note, have you guys
podcasts.
ever had those donuts? We used to call it rabbit shit donuts. They're like the little powdered sugar with the stuff on top.
No, but now but
they're
that's the
so
worst
good.
branding.
I
Why
know.
mouse shit
No, I
donuts?
think like my mom and I used to call it that. I don't think it's
Oh,
called
I was
that.
like, is that-
no rabbit shit? Like they're
It's
like
like-
little powder. Oh, it's amazing. Anyway,
Sounds good.
Oh
Bad
God.
title.
Anyways, we tried to kill them with poison, which is kind of like the nice. Are there like mouse people? Are they going to come after me?
no,
What?
no,
Oh,
I
like
think they're
nice
vermin. I think you
advocates?
have to
Yeah,
get them.
I don't know. Anyways, whatever.
What were you supposed to do? Just let them outside?
No, you can't. No,
Well, you know what's interesting about that? So
like
our,
let them out.
our dog got
no,
skunked.
they come back. They come back. They find their way back.
The only solution is to
Rex
kill
got
them?
skunked like a week ago. I was in New York. Or no, sorry,
Again?
I was in Florida visiting my
He's
mom.
been skunked like
And then-
4 times.
I'm
Mark
talk-
was away alone with the
I'm
kids.
talking to Lanny on
Dog
the
got
phone,
skunked.
and I see on the Ring doorbell that like, holy shit, the dog's outside. Lanny says that something happened.
No.
So Rex got skunked. Like, how come they can't kill all the skunks? Did they-
Skunks.
did-
Forget skunks.
did they do-
Raccoons. Guys, raccoons.
No, see, but raccoons don't bother me.
We have a family of raccoons who have been shitting all over the outside of our porch. And you know what
I
else
think
about
that's your dogs.
No, it's not. It's like
Yeah,
on,
it is, dude.
it's on the
No,
top.
it's
No,
and isn't it poisonous?
it's poisonous.
Oh,
If
is
you
it?
inhale enough of it, it actually like it's toxic for your
Shit.
brain. Like it's really bad. The guys had to come and basically wear hazmat suits and get rid of
Ew.
Okay,
it.
so maybe raccoons are bad too, but
Maybe it is
skunks
time
are
to move.
worse.
They're all bad, guys. They're all bad.
No.
Anyways, let me just go back to the
Okay,
mouse
sorry,
thing.
sorry,
So we
yeah.
tried to kill them with poison. They ate the poison and did not die.
Ugh.
They are
Now they're resilient.
now they're
Now
resilient.
Now
They're
They're
immune.
super rad.
they're super rat. They
Literally, you have Ninja Turtles.
they've turned into rats and they're coming after us. Anyways,
Well, Splinter.
so we set up traps. Fine. My nanny Michelle messages me the other day.
But
a
you've
picture.
never seen one. You've
I've
never seen one
one.
scurry.
And I don't really like. You don't know your fears until you're really faced with them. And I don't really get ruffled by a lot. So we catch one of the mouse. Michelle sends me a picture. I'm like, that is fucking disgusting. Whatever. I'm like, that's gross. I'm like,
When was this? This was like a week
This was
ago.
yesterday.
Oh,
This was
shit.
yesterday. I'm
Oh,
like,
shit.
let's move the traps under the sink because that's where they're coming from. And so
Oh.
we moved them there. This morning, I'm getting ready. I hear all the kids, everyone's screaming, laughing. I'm like, oh, what's happening down there? I think something funny. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Zach walking into my bathroom, holding up a trap with a dead mouse. he is not even just like, he's coming closer and closer. I'm crying, guys. I'm shaking. My heart is jumping out of my chest. I have a
Did it touch you?
It didn't, but he basically got this close.
Was he holding it from the trap or like the tail?
Honestly, Gary, I could not. Probably the tail. He doesn't give a shit.
I feel like that's like Zach's wet dream.
So Zach
that's like
loves, it is. He loves rodents, creatures. He doesn't
he loves
care.
stuff like that.
I was.
You should let him keep it.
Guys, I had a
It was
I had a panic
It was
attack.
dead.
I had a actual, I've never felt like that in my life.
Oh.
And it took me literally 20 minutes before my heart could.
Wow. Okay.
Anyways,
Well,
that was
Was
the
it
story.
just the mouth? Like, was it the fact Zach was touching it,
or
or
was
just
it
like
that
you?
it
Oh
was
God,
dead?
I don't care about germs. No, germs don't bother me
Well,
at
dead
all.
mouse germs not good.
Don't care.
Wash
Germs don't
hands.
bother me.
Wash
It was
hands.
a dead rodent. You know, this isn't fucking Ratatouille. It's not like a cute mouse that's gonna like cook with me and
In
be my
your
sous
house, though,
chef.
it might be like you, like maybe he died and was watching you cook for like months.
He's like, oh, we're gonna.
Guys, this is where your like quirky thing is like.
I know me and Gary have like a
this-
secret sarcastic movie language.
Yeah, and I just
Anyways,
totally-
guys, it wasn't cute. It was very traumatizing.
I feel bad for you. Honestly, I would have given Zach a big old spanking.
But it wasn't Zach. It was Benji. Benji was like, go upstairs and scare mom.
That's funny. Also, you'd never give any of our kids spankings
Of
ever.
course not. I'd
or
be like, I
anything.
love you. Come here. I'll
be
cuddle
like,
I
you
think Gary
until
would
you
spank.
cry.
Gary
First of all, we can't
Gary
even
seems like
say that.
I
That's
don't
like,
think
Why?
so.
Why
No,
can't
she
you
feels
say
like I
it?
don't.
I feel like that's abuse. You can't spank your
no, you
children.
No, when I was little,
That's
my
a-
mom used to
not a
always threaten
spank.
me with
That-
like
you just tap my ass. That was an ass tap like at a club.
my mom used to always threaten me with the belt. She's like, if you're not good, I'm gonna get the belt.
Did you ever get belted?
Like maybe once or
Ooh,
twice,
shit,
but
on
like
your
I like
ass?
not in a way where I was like, oh, I remember that. Like I feel
Those
like it
are
was
like,
like, go to
and that's
child
also
service.
stuff that used to fly. Like that's a back in the day
it
thing. That's
did.
like,
My-
imagine you were like a friend came over. You're like, yeah, my mom belted me the other day. You'd be like, yo, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
maybe
bad.
talk to
Well, I
her.
also
that's
feel like it
it's
was
the
when you
same-
were,
It's the
like-
same level with like hugging teachers. You used to be able to like hug teachers and.
You talking
right,
about
guys?
your kids' teachers or like
Well, yeah, I think
your
my
own
kids
teachers?
still hug their teachers.
I don't know if it's allowed anymore.
Oh, well, for like our little kids, I feel like they for
Is
sure.
it?
Yeah, like they're so.
I
Our
think
little
it's
one loves the hug.
Yeah. Okay.
Wesley?
Yeah.
Jones actually,
Oh.
but
Oh my
Wesley.
God, Jones gives so many hugs.
Okay. Oh, this is what I want. So we have 3 boys. I don't know if I'm telling that to you guys. Okay. Our audience members.
Gary's like, thanks for.
We
Okay.
do.
So our middle one, he's just like, he's a very special boy, this Wesley.
Very
and
cute.
our friend, John was over for dinner the other night and we're having dinner, eating whatever. There's salad on the table. And
Oh, now I remember.
and Wesley goes, hey, can you pass the salad? Like this kid's never had salad a day in his life. Like he's literally like staring. I don't know. He's just out to lunch eating chicken fingers. Like
Right.
why asking for
He's
salad?
asking for the arugula.
And then he was like, thank you. And then started serving John.
Yeah, he
Salad.
took
He goes,
everything on the
Hi,
table.
John, would you like some salad? And then
Oh.
for every single item on the
It's
table,
like,
he asked
broccoli,
for it. And then
cauliflower.
he goes, can I please have the broccoli? And then would serve it to John. I'm like, honestly, that's not like I teach my kids good manners, but that is not learned behavior from me. Like that is a
that's
special.
that's innate.
That's
That
like a mom
is-
flex. I just had to say, like, I'm not wrong with that person, but that was such a special moment. I'm like, you're the cutest freaking human that you're like serving our male guests.
And I love
Salad?
I love that also someone was there to see. You know, sometimes your kids
Yeah.
do really good. Like
Yes.
they're so good and they're so well behaved and you're like,
Bullshit.
fuck, I just
Yeah.
want like someone to see this.
Oh,
The
someone
fact that like
else. That's funny.
someone was there to be
Yeah,
like,
John
and now
can-
John is fucking telling everyone
Well, I
how
had to-
amazing. And anyways, he is an amazing kid, but you know, that's
Yeah.
just a really good feeling.
Yeah, to have the support.
Yeah,
the
no, you
backup.
gotta, that's good that that's being aired everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good
versus-
look for our woo.
Yeah.
Our little woodle.
He's just at such a special age where like that age where he's like literally in his own world.
Yeah.
And
He is,
like
and he is just such a ham. He is
He's- yeah.
very cute, and he's got this like high Kermit the Frog pitch voice. He's always like Auntie Lauren. I'm like, oh, I just love
I'm like,
you.
when are any of our boys' balls gonna drop?
They're gonna
'Cause
drop? Well, Gary,
not
when did
while
your
they're-
balls drop?
Not when they're
I
3.
also didn't actually know that was a thing that the balls actually drop out of your stomach.
They do.
You know what I'm
That's
learning?
not just
You know
a
what I'm
figure of
learning?
speech?
I feel like the sex ed where you guys grew up was not good.
No,
like you're
like,
not learning
or I
about like
just blacked-
testicles.
Did you learn about balls dropping?
Yeah,
at
you learn
Roslyn?
about like everything
They fall out
about.
of the they fall into the scrotum.
Well, they come down like they're like
like at
more,
what age? Like when
well,
you're a
I
teenager?
think before puberty, like it's part of puberty, but like I feel like even before
and that's
that,
when the voice changes. That's when all the hormones shift because
That's
literally
when those
Yeah,
little
we have,
testosterone.
we
puke
have a,
stashes come out.
we have a choir boys right now.
Your
Yeah,
your
they're
boys have the
little.
highest pitch voices I have ever heard. They'd be good alto. Is it altos?
Yeah.
Yeah, alto singers and
In choir.
yeah, in choir.
Literally, I'll be the bass or whatever.
Well,
the
it's funny too
alto.
because you have a very deep voice.
I have
Amy.
Do you?
high testosterone. Winning.
When did your balls drop?
When I got my mustache threaded with my eyebrows and the rest of my body lasered. You?
My balls haven't dropped yet, I don't think.
Okay, well.
Okay, so this episode ended up actually being way longer than we thought. And Gary is just like,
Here still.
Gary's here. Gary's like, let's just keep referencing.
I'm
Gary's
also-
like Gary's Kimmy Gibbler from Full House and just doesn't leave. And we're gonna cut this into 2 episodes.
Well, I have to drive Miss Daisy to her car.
Good one.
Gary.
Cha-ching. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, hold on.
No one's ever compared me to
second.
Kimmy Gibbler. That's a good one.
Does it have to be TV or can it be movies?
Yeah, I think anything cultural.
make it a video
Annie.
game.
Any cultural
I'll be
reference.
back.
I'll be back next week with more of the first one.
Annie, all right. You know what? Good job,
I'm
Annie.
here to play.
Okay.
Lauren, can you do a Schwarzenegger impression?
And I'll be back.